Droidly Codes. Welcome back, Android app developers, Android Sketchware app developers, Android Studio app developers. This is another guide following along with our Firebase tutorial. In our last guide, we ended up creating a profile where we would navigate over to our profile when we signed in our user successfully, but we did not load our user's profile image into our profile when we log in here. So if I go back and I actually log in, it doesn't load my user's profile. It only picks up the default user profile still. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, we did send our data. So our data being that we have our JSON array or our JSON string of objects here for our information. So our information being the data that is stored in our Firebase database. So we collected our age, our image, and our username, and that is what this is right here. So we can actually load this information after we've received it in this set of our actual activity and load it into what we call a list map in Sketchware and actually view all this information individually inside of our profile get user info blocks. So these are our blocks for our username, our email, and our age. Now our email is always going to stay that because we did not share our email with our database, because I don't think you should put your email in your database unless that is part of your application. Like if your application is something to share other people's emails with, which I highly don't recommend whatsoever, then that is something that I would not say, hey, do that, because we can actually get our email information also from Firebase authentication. There is a block for that as well inside of our component section. So if you logged in, you could get your email and then get the information and load it into your profile page. However, what we did in our last guide is we grabbed the map data right here and we loaded it into just a text view. Now we want to load this into a string. So let's create a string called map data info. And if you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to erase that string because I ended up entering the wrong thing. Map data info. There we go. It was just the wrong name, and I'm very kind of picky about that. So yes, we're going to create a string called map data info, and then we're going to load that information into our string from our map data, which is all this data right here. Again, don't forget. And yes, subscribe if you like this kind of content, if you're learning, if you think you're learning, if you want to share this with some people that ask about this, then please do so. My name is MisterDNEH, this is Droidly Codes, and I am teaching you guys a lot about Firebase right off the hop because I think you can learn so much with Firebase, including what you're going to learn today, which is about JSON. So JSON is basically what we see here. This is our JSON array of objects, and we can actually grab this information and JSON it to a string, and that's what these blocks are for down here in our operator block area. And then we can actually grab that information from a string, for example, and JSON it to a list map, a list string, or even a list number, for example. So we can do that with multiple different items, but we're going to do this with a list map today. So a list map is very important for a lot of things like loading items into a list and loading objects into a list as well. So we're going to add our list object and we're going to name this just info list map, just like so. And we're going to select that drop down. Now we have to do something very important. We need to put open and close brackets, square brackets in here, because for strings, we need to have these to actually load into the list map properly for our JSON array. So our data right now has only curly brackets from the beginning and the end, whereas a proper string needs to have these open and close brackets. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this map data block and we're going to load that into our JSON list. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place this up here because we know our key values. So our key for username is you, so that's going to be poop. I don't know why I changed that to poop. Our A value is going to be A for age, and then our user's actual image is loaded from our Firebase storage with I as our I image. So we're going to go down to view. We're going to go all the way down, keep going, keep going, keep going until you find the one that says view to URL. I think it's all the way back up here. I don't know. It's so hard for me sometimes because I'm colorblind, so sometimes I can't see the colors properly. There we go. Image view, set image from URL. Now we don't know our URL yet, right? Because we have to get that information from our list map. Our list map is going to basically create something like this. It's going to create something like this for us in behind the scenes, and then it's going to allow us to pick from that list map. There's only going to be one list map for this case, and we're going to learn a lot about list maps later on when we start working with the chat back and forth kind of thing. So we're going to grab our information from that list map. Our key for our username is going to be U, and 0 at position 0, that is, for our username. So position 0 because there's only one item in our list map. So example, in our JimJam database, we have position 0 would be this right here. Position 1 would be this one, and position 2 would be this one technically. So if we loaded all this information from our JimJam database into a list, it would grab this first as 0, this as 1, and this as 2. That's because lists load from point 0 or from 0 when they load. So 0 is your very first one, 1 is your next one, and 2, and then so on and so forth. So we're just going to copy and paste this block down here, and we're going to get our user's age. So we're going to go A, and then we're going to copy this block again, and we're going to get our image URL. Now, you could throw a try block in here just in case you mess something up or anything. However, it should work perfectly fine because all we're doing is grabbing that map data information, we're JSONing it to our list map, and then we're loading that information from our list map based off of those keys that are inside of our list map, and they should be inside of our list map, right? So we know these keys right here, but if there was like an extra key in here or something for whatever reason, then that's when the app would crash technically, or if we're missing a key, it would crash if that key did not exist. So now that we've done that, when we log in our user, click save and run, we will be able to see all of our user data properly, including our email. Our email is just loaded from the fact that we have sent an intent to this activity to actually load it. So what we did here is we put our email and password in, password test1, and then when we sign in the user, the intent pushes our email over to the next activity to load it, so that it's not sitting anywhere in the database or anything like that. It's only just sitting on our actual profile page when we log in. So sign in our user, and there we go. There is our username, our email, and our actual age, and my profile image that I ended up uploading the last time we did this. So if I did this again and I entered my password correctly, so password test1, I kind of had a moment there, I would be able to actually pick a new image if I wanted to. I'm going to pick an image of my cat, and then this is going to upload that data to my personal Firebase database for my actual account. And then if I go back and then I log back in again, sign in, that is my image that I just uploaded to my, because I erased the old one and I put a new one. So that's the image of my cat in my bathroom. I don't know why he's sitting in that shelf. I just thought it was funny. So that is my new username's picture, or my profile picture. And I thought I'd cover that before we were going to cover rules. I was going to cover rules in the video today, but I realized, hey, we forgot to do this, and I'm going to do that video for the next segment of our Firebase series. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, because watching the entire video does help the video algorithm, and it does help when you share it with other people. So take care, have a nice day, enjoy. I will see you next time.